Hi guys, Jada Watts. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. And today is July 25th, 2017. I know I said I was going to try to do better and log in on Thursday or Friday, but time has again got away from me. And of course today is Tuesday. It's my cooking day, so I've been super busy since early this morning, and I just sat down, and so I wanted to pop on and share what my visit, and then talk about a couple of things that's been on my heart. So I want to get to the chase about the visit. When I went in on Tuesday, I was down 1.5 pounds, and I'm happy, super happy about it. It's still going down. I did my fat mass was down 3.5 pounds. But I did have a busy week, and I was on my feet a lot, and it was only 6 days. I don't know if y'all if you've seen the other two videos, but I pushed it to the Friday because of our friends' funerals, and then it was only 6 days. So I'd been working a lot and on my feet, and so I felt swollen that morning, but I mean, I don't know what 1.5 pounds of water weight looks like, but anyway, I knew my rings were tighter, so she said, you're retaining 1.5 pounds of water, and if you weren't, you would have lost 3.5 pounds because your fat mass went down 3.5 pounds. So whatever, but it went down 1.5 pounds, and I'm super happy about that. So as long as it keeps going down, I want to see bigger numbers, but I've been struggling a little bit with the stress and things like that, and not really venturing off my program, but at the same time feeling they said that could affect you. So, yeah, so it is what it is, but it's still going down. So I'm happy with that. I did want to talk about, I told everyone that I was trying the Medi Melts. I did get those, and this is like my 5th day. I think I took them, I don't know if I took them on Thursday. No, I did. I did it. So I did it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. This is my 5th or 6th day. I can't remember if I took them on Thursday. But anyway, and so far, I mean, I actually am not having that down, exhausted feeling in the afternoons so far. So maybe it's a good thing for me. So, but anyway, I'm gonna continue to stay on them because I like the way I feel. It's kind of weird. You melt them under your tongue, but they're like this weird chalky, I don't know. I mean, they're not like awful, but it's just strange. And then you can't drink for 5 minutes. And of course, that's like the longest 5 minutes of my life, because I'm like, all I can think about is getting a drink, which is crazy because, you know how your brain just kind of messes with you. So, but anyway, so I'm doing the Medi Melts. That's all going great so far. So I am going to continue that versus the shots for now, and see how it works, for a month at least. And I think that's about it. I did want to say that I found out on Thursday when I went that my sweet nutritionist, Emily, who I love so much, these folks have been so good to me and so encouraging. And I know that I have some crazy ways. I'm a crazy logger with my food, and I write down every single thing, and I have questions, and I write them down, and I have, so I just, I feel like, when I decided that I was going to do this, that I really wanted to throw everything I had into it. And so they've accepted my crazy, and they've been so good to me with it. And I love her very much, and I'm going to miss her terribly, but I'm so proud for her. She's the sweetest young lady, and she's been accepted into a dietitian's program. I think only 8 out of 80 that applied were accepted, and she was one of them. So I'm so proud for her. And of course, she's young, and I want her to all of her dreams to come true, and this is one of them, is to be a dietitian. So I'm so proud for her, but I'm going to miss her terribly. I know that they'll get someone in there that's wonderful, but I hate change, but I know they'll be great, and but I'll miss her terribly. And so that's about it as far as the Medi goes. Everything, I'm still on track. I'm still, that puts me at 57.7, I think. Yeah. 57.7 in 19 weeks. So I still think that sounds crazy. I think that averages about a little over 3 pounds a week. When you average it all out, some weeks, I had 9 and 7 and 6 and 3s and whatever, but it all averages out. So, so 57.7, 19 weeks. And I'm still excited. I'm still happy. I still feel good. I feel better than ever, actually. The only thing that's terrible is when all those Facebook memories come up and you're like, holy Moses, look at that girl. But, and I still have so far to go. But it does give you a lot of motivation to keep going. And I'm so grateful. I've met a lot of great people through this journey and me doing these videos and posting them when I decided to do that. And I did want to mention one of them today. She was supposed to go today. I don't know what's going on, but if you pray and you're a believer, Holly is one of our fellow Medi folks, and she is having some ultrasounds and things like that done, and she asked for prayer. So she should be probably doing it about now. So if you pray, please think good thoughts for her. And I pray that everything's okay. I reached out to her, so hopefully I'll hear from her and find out how everything went this evening for her. On that line, I wanted to talk about something that is good for me. I always, I'm always looking for ways. I don't want to make this about my faith and my belief and all that stuff, but I do want to share my heart as I do these journals. And of course I am faith-based. And so, I think it's important for me, especially I do my little daily guidance, and, of course I'll miss a time, there's days that are crazy busy and I catch up, but we're doing this little thing at church that's been kind of interesting and very eye-opening, because you say, I'm going to do this, and you get all excited, and then when you actually do it and you see the impact and the difference that it makes in someone else's life, you just feel how you realize how you take some things for granted, and also how thankful that we should be about where our lives are, and how blessed we are on the daily basis. And so we started this thing about 8 weeks ago called 3 for You. And if you'll just indulge me for a second, I want to talk about that. And it's basically where it's called, and you hashtag 3 for you, the numbers 3, 4, and the letter U. And I have this is one of the little brochures. I know it's backwards, but whatever. This is 8 weeks we're on. And so basically it's 3 things that you do that week, that they give you to do that week. And one is for you, one is for your family, and one is for others. And there's been all kinds of really cool things, like a pay it forward, or, for the family, sit around the table at dinner at night, unplugged from anything social media or any phone whatsoever, and talk about your day, and go around the table and tell each one of them, your family members, or whoever happens to, if it's your family, could be your friends, whoever you live with or whoever you hang with, whatever your tribe looks like. But sit around the table unplugged and talk to each one of them about what you love about them, or what you admire about them, or something positive that you feel about each one of them. And as you go around and everybody kind of talks about it, it's been interesting. My husband and I, we sit down to dinner every night, and that was another thing. One of them one week was sit down to dinner with your family every single night, and that's something that was super important to us. When we were raising our children, we always sat down to dinner together every night. And when my son when our kids come over, we still sit down to dinner together every night that they're here. And it's just something that's important. I feel like, life is so busy, and we don't have time, or we don't feel like we have time to stop. And that's sometime that we can. You absolutely can put the phone away for 20 minutes and sit there and in silence or just visiting and talking about your day. And so I always loved that with my kids. I always loved sitting around the table, asking them how their day was, talking about their friends. And a lot of times it was an opportunity for them to share things that they were feeling or hurting about, or if somebody, had done something and they didn't understand it. And we could really, there was a lot of parenting in those moments too, careful parenting, because, you always want to get riled up when your babies are upset. But it was a good time. But that was one of the things, was to do that. And so I'm grateful that we always did that. And my husband and I still sit down to dinner every night, that if we're not going out. And of course, if we go out, of course we sit and talk with one another. But every night we sit down to the table together and totally unplug and just sit with one another and have dinner. And sometimes we have great conversation, and sometimes it's just like surface, but we're having that time together where it's just our quiet time with one another. And so I love that. So another thing that we did for others that I thought was really great, and if you have small children, this would be great for them, or even teenagers, because sometimes I feel like we get a little out of touch with what society looks like. And so it was to make little packages like crackers, toothbrushes, deodorants, soap, snacks, anything like that. Put it in a baggie. And when you see someone in need, or a homeless person or something like that, give them these bags, and maybe put a little encouraging comment in there for them. Tell them that, you're praying for them, or something, to brighten their day. And so those were some things that were really cool. And, but one of the things this week that was for family that I wanted to share, and I thought it was great. And it was basically to go out, to have a family date night, and spend 3 hours together and do as many things as you can. Not go to the movies and sit for 2 hours or 3 hours or whatever the movie is, but go do stuff like whatever it is, miniature golf. I don't know if you could do that, because there's another stipulation. And whatever your tribe looks like, if your family is your friends, then do it. Then that's who your family is. If it's just like my husband and I, we're the only ones home, it's just the two of us. So, but if you have 6 kids or 4 kids, and you and your spouse, that you have a big family, here's the kicker. You can only spend $34 total. So, you could go to the river and play football or frisbee or have a picnic or whatever, but be unplugged for 3 hours with your family on a date night and only spend $34. So I thought that was a really cool challenge for the week. So if you're interested, it would be great to see. And if you do participate in one of these things like that, please comment and let me know, because I do think that some of these things are so great. And like I said, there's all kinds. We do them every week. I'm going to try to share them. I don't know how many more weeks we're doing it, but I want to share them as we do them, some of them. So maybe if you're interested, I'll put them out there. The 4 others is this week is pick a current event to pray together about out loud as a family. And so that's another thing. We have a lot of stuff going on in this world that we don't understand, and a lot of bad things going on in our country that, is just not good. I don't like to talk about politics and all that stuff, but we need to pray for one another regardless of where you stand on the line. We need to encourage one another and be better to each other. But that's it for me. That's my rant for the day. But remember, I'll be going in 2 days back to Medi, so I'm trying to get on track. I really honestly am trying. But I will be posting more video. I'll be posting that update. And I did want to also say thank you really quickly. I know this is going a little long, but I wanted to say thank you to those that have reached out to me about the loss of our friends. I know I had a minor little meltdown in that video, and I'm really sorry. I do have the peace of God, and I know they're in a much better place. It was very hard, and it's still hard thinking about it, but I know that it's all going to be fine. And I'm just so grateful for all of you that did either comment or reach out to me and encouraging me through this. I really, really appreciate it. And I will check back in in a couple of days, 3 days, I hope. But remember, everywhere you go, be blessed and be a blessing. And I will talk to you soon.